Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was in Hazbin Hotel. So in the last video Deku, we started off with Izuku's origins from, Izuku being abused by his mother and also being bullied at school. So, after Izuku committed suicide because of, Bako saying that he should, swan dive off the roof, well, Izuku made it a hell and also fought an exterminator, which Izuku got in his, special blessed tipped weapon. After that, Izuku was brought to the cannibal colony by Alistair, where Izuku is gonna be living now with Rosie. So yeah, before we start, the story proper, the part said that Izuku should be shipped with Charlie. Well, if you didn't know, Charlie is actually bisexual and, she's actually dating Vaggie. And if you don't know who's Vaggie, her. The girl with the X on her eye. Apparently, well, Vaggie is actually a lesbian. So, because, well, Charlie being bi and, Vaggie being a lesbian, they started dating. So, yeah, I'm going to be sticking to canon, so just pick a different ship. So, yeah, let's talk about what happens next. So, it's been a few weeks, since Izuku came to, Hell. Izuku has been adjusting, pretty goodly. Izuku learned how to, adjust to his environment by acting, just like in the 1980s. So, after Izuku killed a overlord living in the area, Izuku became the brand new overlord of that area of, the cannibal colony. So, Izuku, decided to make his own, business in Hell, which is an assassination guild. Izuku decides to give his, he decides to pick his brand new, name. From, the last video, I told all of you guys to pick a nickname for Izuku, or like a brand new name for Izuku in Hell, so I decided to pick this name. So, only one of you decided to pick this name. As in one of you, I mean the guy that had like the profile picture, the guy that has like the profile picture being, the Soviet Union's, flag. I like that, profile picture, not gonna lie. Anyway, Izuku's random name is, Nightwalker, which doesn't make sense because I decided to make, Izuku's costume based off, Japanese mafia type clothing, so it's probably not going to be fitting, and it's not even helping that I decided to make Izuku's mask, almost like a moon shape. So, it's been a few weeks ever since Izuku came to, to Hell. Izuku has been adjusting pretty well, and, well, he started, making his business a little bit well known. Even reaching to a different city known as Imp City. And if you don't know what is Imp City, it's from, Vibsipot's other show, which you probably know, known as Hell of a Boss. If you didn't know, Hell of a Boss and its pilot, apparently they're actually connected. Even though it's not connected anymore to, Hazbin Hotel because, the whole, contracting, because, it's a bit complicated, so I'm not gonna, talk about it. Wait for a second. So, Izuku has been, has been assassinating several different types of people for different overlords, even though Izuku is Lord himself. So, Izuku, was getting ready for a party with some other overlords. Apparently, they're gonna be having a party for, for Alistair. Even though some of them don't really like Alistair, One of them being named, um, what's her name? Velvet. And if you don't know who are the three, well, the three V's, well, Velvet is one of them, and the two others are named Vox and Valentino. Vox represents, well, TV, and for Valentino, he also represents, well, the adult film industry. And finally, for Velvet, she represents, well, social media, like, for example, um, Facebook, YouTube, and other such, well, medias. So, Izuku was told that he's gonna be going to the party there with Alistair. Alistair says this. Oh, what a fine suit, my boy. Izuku says this. Whatever. Pops. As he says this. Huh. Why did you call me that? Izuku says this. Well, you are the one that actually, well, helped me adjust here and, well, Izuku sighs. As Izuku says this, let's just hurry up and go. I have another business to attend to. As Alistair says this, what type of business? Izuku says this, apparently I'm gonna be killing this guy. Apparently his name is like, something something I can't remember. I don't even give a fuck anymore. So, after their little conversation, they started going off to the party. Alistair says this. Ugh, how annoying. I absolutely hate TV. Izuku says this. I kind of agree, but Izuku inside says to himself, damn, I wish I can buy those TVs because Izuku's living in the the cannibal colony, they don't really have TV, they only have radio. And in the cannibal colony, it's supposed to be like the mirror version of the 19 like 70s, or was it 80, or was it 60s? I can't remember my time periods all that much. So it's the because of that, they don't have well Wi-Fi. And Izuku absolutely wanted to have a phone, but unfortunately Alistair prevented him from getting a phone because he prefers the old days when radio was basically the king of media. So when they made it to the ballroom, one of them sees Vox, Velvet, and Valentino. As Valentino says this, it's nice to meet you all. We are the three V's. As Vox says this, I hope you like all of your brand new cell phones made by Vox Tech. And for Velvet, she says this, hey, it's Alistair, and who's that guy? I never seen him before. As Vox says this, interesting. So he comes forward and goes towards Izuku and Alistair. Vox says this, so who are you, little boy? Izuku says this, what did you call me? As he brings out a blessed tipped, blade. And if you don't know what are blessed tipped, weapons, this is actually a spoiler to, the recent episode of, Hell of a Boss. So if you want to skip this part and try not to get spoiled, you can, do it because this is actually a really big point in the story. So, when, I think his name was when Moxie was being humiliated by, Striker, which was the big antagonist of that, episode. He checked out his, suitcase and found out that he had a blessed tipped, rifle or sniper rifle. And if you don't know what are blessed tipped, rifles and such weapons, apparently they're really powerful, even more powerful than Alistair's staff or cane. Apparently, blessed tipped weapons have the ability to basically kill an overlord or even a prince. Like for example, If one shot from that sniper rifle gets shot at per se like Stolas, it will kill him. When Vox saw that, Vox said this. Whoa, I never seen a ballistic tipped weapon before. Huh. I wonder how'd you get that? Izuku says this. It's none of your fucking business. Izuku unsheaths, puts it back. Puts it back in its sheath. As Velvet says this. Well, you're quite cute. So how order? I meant this. Wait for a second. I got. Sorry about that. It's just my voice. It's starting to hurt a little bit. I just need to rest it a little bit. Um, Velvet says this. Wow, you're actually quite cute. So how old are you? And what day did you die? Or like what year? Izuku says this. Recent. I'm 15, and I would rather if you don't piss me off. As well, wait for a second. Valentino says this. Huh. You seem to be quite interesting. Wonder if I can sell you to somebody. Izuku says this. What are you, a pedophile? He says this. Oh, I think that quite hurt me. That kind of hurt me a little bit. Anyway, let's start the party. So, when the party started, everybody started dancing to the, dubstep music that, Vox was making. Izuku was basically just eating, in the, snacks, table. For Alistair said this. Ugh, they don't even have venison? How uncouth. Izuku says this. Yeah, I agree. So, Izuku, while eating, well, Velvet still keeps looking at Izuku. As when Izuku basically blinks, she disappears. Izuku says this. Why is that bitch even looking at me for? As Alistair says this. I'm guessing that Velvet Girl seems to be interested in you. Izuku says this. Yeah. Ugh, I don't even fucking care. As Alistair says this. Oh, come on, Izuku. You might even get a wife or something like that. Izuku says this. Why would I ever get a wife? Besides, I have, my own interests. As, Alistair says this. Alright, guess we'll be leaving now. Izuku says this. Yeah, this party blows. So, they started going back to, wait for a second. Sorry about that. So, Izuku and Alistair started going back to, the cannibal colony where everybody started, praising Izuku because, he's basically, well known in the area because, he killed a overlord, which was really well known to people because, they never they never saw a person like Izuku basically kill an overlord just, with just using his fists. Izuku didn't even use his, holy, spear that he gotten from, from an angel or one of the exterminators because, Izuku decides to, do it with his fists. So, yeah. One of them was a maid that basically, direct them, back to his room. Izuku lives in a big mansion in, that area. So, Izuku tells the maid to basically make him some tea. So, when Izuku was, drinking his tea, one of his employers, as in employers, I mean his employee, which was a man that has, the man or the demon, should I say, has long, lanky limbs, and he's wearing some sort of, mask. As he says this, target killed. So, where's my pay? Izuku says this, okay, just wait. So, Izuku goes into his, into his money bag or whatever. Izuku puts the money in his hands. As the demon says this, nice. Guess I'll be leaving. Izuku says this, hey, how do you want to have some tea with me? As he says this, sure. So, While they were drinking tea, they started discussing some targets. As Izuku says this, yeah, that boy, that overlord, I can't remember his name. I think his name was like, Syphilar or something like that. I can't remember. Apparently, he was disturbing one of our client. I meant, he was disturbing one of our clients. As the lanky armed man says this, yeah. Izuku says this, so you can just take care of him, pestilence. As he starts going off and started going onto his bike, which is in the shape of a horse's skull. So Izuku decides to go back to his room and decide to sleep. So when Izuku was sleeping, he felt something was wrong. So when Izuku woke up, Izuku sees the girl from the party, Velvet, one of the three V's. Izuku says this, "What are you doing here?" As she says this, "Oh, come on. I think that you're quite interesting. I have a proposition for you, Mr. Izuku Midoriya." Izuku says this, "I said don't call me that. The name's... Wait for a second. The name's Nightwalker now. I never want to be called by that stupid fucking name." As the girl says this, "Oh, come on. I think it's quite a cute name. And besides, I used to be human as well." Izuku says this, "Yeah, all of us used to be human back in that hellhole of a world. I mean, it is hell here, but you get the point." As she says this, "Oh, come on. I think you're different than the others. So many of the people that tried to date me, well, they couldn't handle me. But you're so different. That serious attitude, I absolutely love it. So, can you, date me?" Izuku says this, "No thanks. Besides, I'm clearly busy with my assassination guild." As she says this, "Well then, that's the wrong answer then." So, Izuku gets shocked, well, gets shocked, like getting tased in the back. Izuku gets knocked out. When Izuku wakes up, Izuku's in a dark room. Izuku sees the three V's, Vox, Valentino, and Velvet. As Velvet says this, "Hey Papa, can I go?" I'm sorry about that. I meant, "Hey Papa, can I play with him?" As Vox says this, "Sure, darling. You can do whatever you want." Wait for a second. "You can do whatever you want with him, sweetie. That's after all, our present for you." As, well, Velvet says this, "Yay! Let me have some fun time with Dad." As Vox says this, "Yeah, guess I'll have some fun with him too." So they started going off, and basically, I mean, Vox is after all, gay, apparently. And also, actually, I can't tell if, Valentino's either, bisexual or gay because, in the comics, apparently Valentino would sometimes, let's just say, had unconsensual, fun time with one of her, I meant one of his staff, specifically the girls in the Hazbin Hotel, Addict music video. If you didn't see that, it's a really good, music video. It's just so good. And apparently in the comics, apparently, Valentino would sometimes, sexually abuse, Angel Dust. So, yeah. So, back to the story. Well, Velvet says this. "When I first saw you, Mr. Nightwalker, I felt something changed in me. You're not like the other boys that, well, that tried to date me. They were just cowards. But you're so different. Ezekiel says this. Get off, Amigos, you little bitch, as she forces a kiss on Izuku. As she says this. Come on, Izuku. We can be together forever in this hellhole. Please, Izuku. Please accept me. Izuku grabs a holy tipped knife that he hid in his pocket and basically started shaving off the rope. And Izuku starts going off to go back to to the cannibal colony, back to his home. As Velvet, after seeing Izuku escaped, she says this. Oh, playing cat and mouse, eh? Guess I'll find you soon. Yeah, I'm going to make Velvet a bit of a yandere in this one. So, yeah. So, when Izuku made it back to, to the cannibal colony, Izuku says this. That bitch! She's crazy! I need to go back to my room. So, when Izuku goes back to his room, Izuku sees Alistair there. As Alistair says this, so, where have you been, my boy? Izuku says this, Ugh, Velvet, she kidnapped me. Alistair said this, really? Huh, I'm guessing she was a bit of a stalker. Izuku says this, more than a stalker, more like a psychopath. God damn. Ugh, that taste in my mouth. Ugh. The goddamn lipstick. As Alistair says this, maybe try and accept it. Maybe you might get a beautiful child out of that. Izuku says this. You know we can't. If you don't. Actually, if you don't know in the comics, apparently sinners can't, reproduce. Only hellborn sinners, like for example, the imps and hellhounds, apparently, can only reproduce. And also natural born overlords, like for example, what's his name? Lucifer, Charlie's dad. And for another example, Stolas and his daughter, Octavia. So after Izuku explains that to Alistair, Alistair says this, then just marry her then. You probably might, get along pretty well. I mean, she is the daughter of, the two most powerful overlords right now. I mean, she is an overlord herself, one of the three Vs after all. Izuku says this, I'm not dating her because, number one, she's a psychopath. Number two, she forced a kiss on me. And number three, she kidnapped me. As Alistair says this, anyway, I want to talk to you about something. Izuku says this, what is it? As Alistair says this, apparently, this girl, the daughter of Lucifer herself, himself, Izuku says this, you mean Miss Charlie? As Alistair says this, so you've finally known her. So, how did you know her in the first place? Izuku says this, the news, I saw her, fiasco at at channel 666. As Alistair says this, so, anyway, I want to go there and, see her so-called hotel. Izuku says this, her happy hotel or whatever. Guess I'll be going there as well. I mean, it would probably be interesting seeing her trying to, rehabilitate sinners, quote unquote. As Alistair says this, yeah, I can't wait to see, people like her tumble down into the fiery pit of failure. As Alistair starts smiling, Izuku says this, whatever. I made some whiskey. So, after getting, well, a bottle of whiskey from his, well, mini fridge, Izuku starts chugging it all down as Alistair says this. Maybe try not to drink so much, Izuku. Izuku says this. I don't freaking care. I mean, I'm literally in hell, and I used to be a freaking human that was, well, abused by his parents, so I don't give a fuck anymore. As Alistair says this. Alright. Anyway, guess I'll be leaving now. Just prepare for, well, tomorrow. Izuku says this. Ugh, fine, Dad. As Alistair says this. Fine, goodbye, boy. Izuku says this. Can you just call me by my real name? As he says this. Okay, Izuku. Izuku says this. No, my... I'll be going to sleep. So, yeah. So, after Izuku falling to sleep, well, this will be the end of the episode. So, yeah. So, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe. And I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.